like weird. Speaking
of defending something, so why don't you like incest? I'm curious. What's your problem with incest?
I already told you, it's a very sensitive topic for me. Fuck you.
Yeah, well, what's wrong with incest? I'm curious. What's your problems with it?
It's just fucking morally wrong. Why would you want to fuck someone that's in your family?
Morality.
Sure, so what? Yeah, so we're gonna talk about morality. I mean, what's morally wrong about it? It's a big claim.
I mean, well,
what's so bad about
it's just really weird.
Hold on, Himiko, you can go next. Stop talking.
Yeah,
let the. Oh, okay, well, way to expose your true
I don't even
colors.
want to talk about it anymore. It's just nasty as fuck.
You're a fucking pedophile.
Okay, anyways, yeah, I'm curious. We're not debating. I was curious. What's your issue with it? You said it's morally wrong. Just why?
I told you it's triggering to me for reasons I can't explain. I just don't fuck with it. It's very.
Yeah, but that doesn't tell me. Yeah, but weird doesn't mean wrong. Weird just means it's out of the norm. I can agree with you that it's weird. Why is it wrong?
It is wrong.
Why?
Because you're literally just. Dude, I shouldn't have to explain it to you. It's just gross to me. Like.
Gross doesn't mean wrong. Gross just means it's disgust. But that doesn't tell me why it's wrong. Like, what if somebody found like breathing air gross? Is breathing air morally wrong?
Else why it's wrong?
Well, you seem to. Well, you're the one that has the most visceral reaction to it. So I'm just curious. What's your problem with it?
I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Oh, okay. It seemed like you had the most. It seemed like you the one that had the most visceral reaction to incest, but it doesn't seem like you have like an
I'm
argument.
trying to explain to you that it's triggering for reasons that I can't explain to you. You don't know me like that.
Oh, okay. Does your like trigger ability, does your like triggeredness like prevent you from making logical arguments?
Keep going.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, okay.
I can't fucking tell you. Like, dude, I've been trying to tell you that I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Likes to smash family and wants underage girls to step on him. Well, neither of those are true. So, players just literally just saying stuff.
I'm scared.
Like, literally just saying shit. Like, neither of those things are true. So, it's really weird. You know, it's funny. This is where the rape allegations came in or whatever, where Cookie was saying like I'm a rapist or something. It's because you can't like
Where did that come from?
Well, you can't. That's what I was gonna say. Like, you can't make an argument or ask a question without being like called a rapist or a rape like apologist or something. Like when I debate like the belief in God and I use like a rape as an allegory and metaphor or something like this or a hypothetical, they're like, so you're saying rape is good then? So you're defending rape? It's like, well, no, I'm just trying to ask you a question to try to detect the logic that you're using. Like, that's what I'm doing here, and I'm using rape as like a allegory for that.
Maybe
right?
it just triggers them because they don't fuck with it or something happened to them, and that's what I was trying to explain to you. I got triggered by it. I'm like, bitch, I'm not the debate.
I don't think
you when I know that it triggers you.
None of the people I debate with are getting triggered by it. They're just incapable, much like yourself, are incapable of like giving arguments to rationalize their convictions.
I guess, but I don't know.
Like this Blair person here, like for all the people who have like such visceral reactions in this lobby against incest, I guarantee you none of you are actually able to articulate what the actual issue is. And obviously, because none of you...
Like, have you not seen some inbred babies?
Sure, so...
Exactly.
Sure, so what... Well, Bomba, I thought you didn't want to talk about it, and now you're saying exactly. But... Anyways, yeah, sure, so...
What you said.
Yeah, sure, so what if... Yeah, so if your issue with is that they're gonna have some inbred babies, what if they don't have babies? That was the issue.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, weird.
'Cause I didn't even
well,
bring that up.
yeah, obviously I'm talking to him, hence because you said you didn't want to talk about it, right? So, yeah, so you said...
Like incest, like,
hold on, Oak. So, number one, you said that they're gonna have inbred babies. Well, we could solve the... Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. So we could just solve this out by just saying that they're not gonna have kids. What do you have an incestual relationship doesn't immediately entail... Wait. Let me finish. Incestual relationship doesn't automatically entail that you're gonna have kids. You engage in an incestual relationship much the same as you can engage in any sort of relationship without having kids. They don't have to have kids. They can go into sex that won't result into having kids. Right. So what if the sister... What if it's just... Wait. Let me finish. What if you have its two sisters, or or two brothers, or a sister and a brother that's sterile, or a sister and a brother just engaging in anal or oral sex. Now what's the issue? They're never gonna have kids in these cases. What's the issue?
The morality of
Right.
it.
The issue, yeah, but the issue is that your it's circular reasoning, right? Your premise assumes the conclusion. You're presupposing the exact thing I'm calling into question. When I ask you, how do you know incest? Why do you think incest is wrong? Well, it's because you're fucking your sister. Yeah. Thank you for telling me what incest is. Now tell me why it's wrong. Because you're fucking your sister. Yeah, why is that wrong? Yeah, but that's circular. That's dog. That's a hold on. Wait. Stop. There's a couple of things here. Number one, you said it's because you're fucking your sister. Like I said, that's a logical fallacy. It's called circular reasoning. It's not an argument. You're not. Your premise assumes the conclusion.
It shouldn't have to be an argument. I think incest is just weird. And
Yeah, weird doesn't mean wrong. Weird just means out of the norm. Why is it wrong? Why is it bad?
Because it's not in the family dynamic, like it's supposed to be like loving
Says
and
who
supportive,
said?
not romantic.
Yeah, who said that?
Me.
No, I'm saying who set that standard? Why can't a brother and a sister fuck?
I feel like it's like set through.
I just think that's just most families in
nature.
general,
How a
though.
family.
I think it's
Hold on,
Yeah,
all of you are
nature.
talking at the same time.
Sorry.
Alright,
Yeah,
one at a
go
time.
ahead, Strawberry. What'd you say?
I said I feel like it's set through nature. If
Yeah,
we were,
this
if
is,
we were all supposed to be incestual.
Yeah, I got it.
then we
I got
all
the
would've
point.
just
I got the
been
point.
inbreds from the beginning.
I understand. I got the point. I already, number one, I already know the rebuttal. Number two, I already know what you're gonna say. And number three, I can make your own point faster than you can make your point. Trust me, I've heard these arguments 24/7, right? So, anyways,
that you can have sex without producing.
yes, so-
because it does cause genetic deficiencies.
yeah, sure. So but you could just not have children. Yeah, so you just, but you can just not have children. Wait, can I hold on? Let me address a bunch of points here. We're all shotgunning points. So number one, about the kid thing, we just solved this out by saying we can just not have kids. Like, so you guys have to stop bringing up the kid things because they're, in this case, they're not gonna have kids. We're talking about two sisters or two brothers or a sterile sister or a brother and sister that's just doing anal or oral. So they're never gonna have kids in any of these cases. So the kids thing doesn't work. So we're doing the nature thing. It's just that it gets to nature. This is a logical fallacy called the appeal to nature fallacy. It doesn't work because we have just because we have the biological inclination for a thing or biological disposition against a thing doesn't necessarily entail whether or not those things are actually good or bad. It just tells us what is the case, right? You can't derive a ought from a is. This is what David Hume's philosopher said or whatever, right? So like the is-ought fallacy doesn't work. The appeal to nature doesn't work. We have rational faculties, inductive and deductive reasoning, rationale, different forms of critical thinking, logic, etc., that supersede our biological inclinations and dispositions.
You got a point there, but here's my other rebuttal: is how are you supposed to develop and branch out as a person if you're stuck in the same bubble? For example, just two siblings going back and forth, only knowing what they were in a house to learn about. How are you supposed to branch out and learn about other people or other things or other cultures or other things like that if you only stay with your brother?
None of what you said
sister.
entails that they can't do that if they have an ancestral relationship. They can have completely normal social relationships with friends, travel the earth, have regular jobs, etc., etc. None of what you just said is unique to not having with incest.
It's like mindset.
Yeah, they can have a mindset where it's okay to
But
fuck
if
their
that's your
sister and not.
partner, if that's your partner, you're going to coincide more with their ideology of life because that's the partner you chose.
Yeah, what is the
So
issue?
that doesn't really, you don't really branch out in ideas or develop more as a person.
None of it.
because you're keeping
Hold on.
the
Okay,
same thought
Strawberry.
process the same
I
people.
get this, but none of this. First of all, none of this. Number one, none of what you propose is necessarily a bad thing. Most of the time, the average persons are unreluctant to change their mind on things they believe strongly in, right? Number one. And number two, literally none of what you just said is unique to an incestual relationship. A regular relationship between a man and a woman can result in the exact same thing you just described.
It's more extreme with an incestual one because both parties
And number three, none of what you just said is automatic with an incestual relationship. They can completely grow and progress as people or whatever and maintain an incest relationship. None of what you said entails that they can't because they're doing incest. That's not even backed up by any sort of like research or science. You're just saying a thing.
But neither is your whole hypothesis that you're making doesn't give any specifics, so I'm adding my own to the hypothesis.
What specifics?
And asking your ideas.
What
like
specifics?
The whole thing you're saying that, it's never said that they couldn't do that or that. Well, What if they never branched out and they stayed together? It's the same. It's the same.
Yeah, what
thing.
is the issue?
Like, they're stuck in the same mindset.
Yeah, what is the issue?
My argument is you don't develop as a person because you don't get outside experiences.
Hold on, Strawberry. This is a presuppositionalism that I'm just denying that you're. This is axiomatic, right? You're just saying a thing that is backed up by nothing. I can just deny this.
And you're saying a thing that's backed up by nothing.
No, but you're posting the affirmative, so the burden of proof would be on you, not me.
What are you talking about?
I'm telling you, I told you exactly.
No,
Strawberry,
you're affirming your position, and he's stating hypothetical.
I'm stating.
Is meant to be back.
I'm stating that. Hold on, wait. Strawberry. I got you. I'm saying the contra negative to what you're saying. Okay, if you just say with literally no backing that they're not gonna progress, and it's just gonna be axiomatic if you have nothing to back it. I'm just gonna say that they are gonna progress because what you're saying is not unique to incest.
So how are they gonna progress? Just go ahead and explain to me.
Because nothing about a brother and sister fucking entails that they can't have a normal life outside of that.
I'm saying that them fucking each other puts them so combined with each other that they don't really see outside of.
That's not true. That's literally not true. You're just saying that. You're just saying that. It's axiom.
You're just saying they're fucking.
No, dog. No, you're retarded. Okay, this bitch is retarded. Strawberry, your claim is axiomatic.
Sorry, sir, but I prefer if you didn't call me a retarded.
Then don't say retarded shit. Okay. So I'll call you.
You're saying brothers and sisters are fucking. Nigga, the fuck?
Yes, okay, and you're saying the problem with it is that they can't progress as people, but this claim is axiomatic. You're presupposing this. This isn't true. I can just say that they will, and it'll just fully on deny your argument. Your argument falls apart because it's axiomatic. Which you don't know what that means.
What's the actual benefit to brothers and sisters?
Why does it? You're presupposing that relationships have to be beneficial, and also you're presupposing that an incest relationship can't be beneficial. Like all of this is just presuppositional. All of this is just presuppositionalism and axiomatic claims that don't entail literally anything. None of this is unique to incest, and all of this is axiomatic and presup that I can just deny, and your argument just falls apart because it has no backing. It's literally just presupposition. But you don't even know what this word means. So I don't even know why I'm saying this. But yeah, no. Anyways, yeah, this argument doesn't work. All I have to do is just say the opposite. But yeah, no. And then Egghoss, you said, what about the trauma? Again, this isn't unique to incest because you can have a regular relationship that can cause trauma. Now your problem's not with incest. Your problem's with against trauma in relationships. It's not unique to incest. You can have regular relationships that can cause trauma. So what? Your problem's with trauma, not incest.
I feel like there's a bond that you have with your sibling.
Yeah.
And doing something like that just skews the ideology of what these, like the morality of these bonds, the ideology of these bonds. It just fucks up that bond. The bond
so when you talk about, sure. So let me hold on. Okay, couple of things. Two things. You said two things that I'm gonna take issue with. Number one, you said you have to be careful with your words here. You said morally, and then you said supposed, right? You're making ought claims. You're making propositions. What?
Okay, sorry, nigga, I said the wrong word.
No, you said the right word. So then I'm just gonna ask you, what meta-ethical school of thought are you grounding this like axiomatic claim?
Hey, so okay, let me find them real quick.
Like, what are you basing this standard off of? When you said things are like a relationship is supposed to be this way morally, what ethical standard are you grounding that proposition in?
Off of family units and how they've been.
That's not a school of thought. That's not a meta-ethical school of thought.
Nigga, I don't know all these extra words. I'm just basing this off of my understanding of what I know.
Okay. The point is that you're not. The point is that you can't tell me what school of thought you follow to even ground this proposition in. So I'm just gonna deny it. I could just deny it, but even still, I'll try to engage with it.
I say, and I can deny anything you say.
No. What I'm saying is that I can dismiss the argument because it's not backed by anything. You can't dismiss mine because mine are backed.
Oh my god.
Like I have. Right. So like for example, I haven't claimed my my position is that incest is my steelman position is that incest is going to be morally neutral, right? The reason why it's morally neutral is because there's no substantive qualitative reasons as to why it's good or bad, right? The arguments that you're giving, number one, aren't unique to incest. Number two, are axiomatic and presupposition, and then I can just deny them in that case and just say the opposite, and they'd be just as valid as you.
How is a family unit not related directly to incest though? When families.
Well, I was gonna get to that, right? So then there's this argument, right? So you're implying, well, you're saying that if a brother or sister is like caught fucking by the family, then it's gonna interrupt or disrupt the family unit, correct?
Oh, okay. Turn in protection.
Yes.
Yeah, sure. So I can engage with this, right?
Well, no.
So there's two problems with this. Number one, you have the moral issue and you don't study philosophy, so I could just ask you the moral question of why we even ought to value the family unit, and you would have to ground it under some sort of meta-ethical, normative ethical epistemology, but you don't even study philosophy, so you can't even answer that, right? So that's the first problem, number one. Number two is that even if I were to engage with this without getting super like philosophy bro about it, right? Let's say that like, okay, the ancestor is gonna break up the family unit if they got caught. Number two, I could just say, well, what if they don't get caught, right? But number three, let's say if they do get caught, right? Let's say if they do get caught, right? Because if I say like number two, if they don't get caught or whatever, the logic is if they don't get caught, then you wouldn't have a problem with it because they're never gonna get caught hypothetically, right? But let's say let's say they will get caught, right? Let's say they actually will get caught. Let's say they get caught like the second day they start fucking or whatever, right? Get caught by mom and dad, right? So the reason why this doesn't work is because you have several things that can break up a family. It's called appeal to contingency, right? It's a logical fallacy. You have several things that can break up the family unit that you wouldn't say is necessarily a bad thing. And I'll give like two examples of this. This happened to me in real life, right? This happened to me in real life, right? But I'll give two examples of this. You could have like a girl who's like dating a black guy for like 3 years, but her father is like super racist or whatever. And when he finds out that she's taking black dick on the low, she could get disowned. This could severely break up the family. Or you could have like another family where I've seen this, by the way, where like the great grandfather was a lawyer, the great grandfather was a lawyer, grandfather was a lawyer, father was a lawyer. He comes from a family of lawyers and they all went to the same law school, right? It's a historical family thing. But the newest son, he said, fuck being a lawyer, I want to be an artist. This is something that can hugely break up the family structure. You come from a family of lawyers and you want to be the one thing that ruins it or whatever. This is something that could break up a family, right? Neither of these things, the white chick dating the black guy, the guy just wanting to follow his passion and becoming an artist instead of a lawyer, you wouldn't say that these are particularly bad things just because they break up the family. That doesn't mean that they're bad, right? It's called an argument from contingency. It's an appeal to contingency fallacy. Just because like one thing disrupts another, it doesn't automatically follow that that thing is actually a bad thing. You still have to articulate that. You could apply that for incest.
Where did you come from?
Okay, so you're arguing that there's so many things that can break up a family unit, correct?
Well,
and those things aren't necessarily bad, so how is this thing necessarily bad?
The primary argument is that just because something breaks up the family doesn't mean that that thing is actually bad. You still have to articulate an argument. You're still presupposing that. You're still in the realm of presuppositionalism. Not technically, like actually. Just because it breaks up the family doesn't mean it's actually a bad thing. It's presuppositionalism like, all over again. You're still presupposing this.
Well, what you're telling me is that the good and bad are all theoretical, essentially, and
It's not what I'm saying at all.
Emotions. That's what you're telling me, because you're saying, okay, dad doesn't like his daughter anymore because daughter wants to fuck black dick.
Yeah.
Dad doesn't like son anymore because son wants to not be a lawyer even though it's been in the family history.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And dad doesn't like his children anymore because they're fucking.
Oh my god, what is
it's all the same thing.
Okay.
But none of those three things immediately entail that the thing itself that's breaking up the family is actually a bad thing.
Bad.
Yeah. You still have to prove that.
Okay.
Just because it breaks up the family doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Oh my god.
That's bullshit.
Okay, but explain to me what defines something as good or bad.
Well, hold
Like, I want
on,
you to
hold
explain
on.
that to me.
Big, hold on, wait. No. We're not gonna be here all day. Haru knows the answer. That's funny. Big question there. The problem here is that I don't have to do that because I'm taking the morally neutral stance. You're on the affirmative. The burden of proof is on you. Wait, strawberry. I know, strawberry. Listen. You are on the affirmative. You are the one that made the moral proposition. You said incest is bad. You're the one that has to tell me what bad means, not me. I said it's neutral.
I have to tell you what the bad thing is.
Well, yeah, you're on the affirmative. You're the one that made the moral claim. You're the one that did it, so you have to tell me what's bad. The burden of proof is on you.
We're in the same position, because what you're saying is, you're saying that it's neutral, but what makes
That's
it
not a
neutral?
moral
I'm
claim.
saying that it's
I already,
bad, and what makes it bad?
yeah, I already answered
He
that.
made a moral claim.
Yeah, I already.
Okay, on the count of 3.
Yeah, hold on.
Drop
Yeah,
your
exactly.
rubber.
I already answered that, right?
3,
The answer to why it's neutral is because
1.
there's no qualitative, substantive, actual good argument for it, for it to be good, and there's no good argument against it for it to be bad, right? So it must be neutral then.
What?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
you're
so
cheating.
you're the one that's making the moral claim and saying that it's bad, but you have yet to give like a good argument against
you have
it.
to like prove that. You have to like.
Yeah,
assert
you have to
that claim.
substantiate it, right? It's
Yeah.
it's your burden of proof. You have to prove your claim.
Burden of proof, yeah, you have to-
No.
So you have to tell me what bad means.
That's what he
I don't have
means
to do
by
that.
that.
Mind you, you don't study philosophy,
Okay.
so I guarantee you wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah,
But
it's
go
super
ahead.
hard. It's super hard if you don't know.
It's hard. I don't know. I'm basing
Yeah.
this off of feelings.
Yeah,
anyway,
sure.
so-
Wait. Okay,
Oh,
but
wait,
that's
we should
problem.
go
But
forward.
strawberry, you have to
We
be
should have a
careful
hammer
because if feelings is your standard,
Okay,
what if
Brian.
somebody feels that
Yo,
incest is
Blair, like,
perfectly
you're like
fine to
dragging
do?
talk.
What's the
Okay,
issue?
okay. I get your point. Pull
Yeah.
out your hammer.
Alright,
Like,
so
your
like I
entire
was saying,
society
back to
is
the,
relaxing.
I was basically going off of the family unit thing. You broke it down saying that.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
There's different things that break up families can be different. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, my family, like my family, for example, my family got into a huge fight. You're not gonna believe this. My family in Detroit got into a huge fight all because of cereal. One person didn't fight. One person didn't. TLDR. Somebody didn't buy a certain cereal, and this caused like a big fight of how you never do anything for me, etc., etc. It all started from cereal, right? So just
I can
because,
believe it.
yeah, exactly. So just because
you
something
cheated.
broke up the family unit doesn't necessarily
Yeah.
mean that that thing is actually a bad thing. You have to still prove that. It's a logical
You're
fallacy.
saying that it's a bad thing,
I
so
just
there
made
has
this
to be
claim, like,
something
more
against it that's
understandable,
actually
right?
bad.
Wait, say what? I can't hear
Let's
you.
say to you.
No,
Wait, hold
I'm
on.
just thinking.
Yeah. Like I said, the reason why we won the incest conversation here is because I think it's a fun testing ground to see if anybody's actually thought through their moral convictions. Most of the time, the answer is no. Nobody studies philosophy. Nobody studies meta-ethics, normative ethics, applied ethics, things like this, right? But they have such strong convictions about these things.
Word for word, fucking idiot.
Why are y'all talking about incest?
All I did was make his claim.
Velocity?
more understandable for him.
True.
Yeah, what? No, like.
Wait,
I
Velocity,
missed
do
the
you...
part.
Well, Velocity, I'm curious. Do you
Blair, you're like
do you
actually
think incest
retarded.
is wrong?
Like clinically retarded, maybe, Blair. Like actually.
If I tell you that incest is wrong, what are you gonna tell me?
Oh, I'm just curious. I'm just curious why you would
Oh,
think
you're
that.
like a.
I think Strawberry needs some help. Why do you think incest is wrong?
Why
I'm
I
curious.
would think
Yeah.
that? I mean, like, that's my blood.
Yeah,
I
so
can't really.
yeah, so Velocity, the problem with this is that doesn't actually tell me why you think incest is wrong. All that does
my
is tell
God,
me
you're
what
digging me.
incest
Stop.
is. I know it's your blood.
I
Now why is it
copied him word for
wrong?
word. Clip it and show me that I copied
It's
him word for
wrong
word.
because it's my blood. I'm not about to. Why would I fuck something that we both came out
Well,
the same?
sure.
part.
So
Why-
Velocity,
But
Velocity.
the
I can answer.
hypothetical
I can
doesn't
answer.
involve you.
I can answer both of this, right? I can answer both of this.
Clip it
Number
and
one,
show me
Wait,
that
just
number.
pause. Can
Okay.
you just give me a second to prepare myself? Like,
Yeah,
I just
sure.
don't. It's so
Prepare
early
yourself.
in the morning.
Yeah, I
Sounds
know.
like Mr.
Prepare.
Nasty.
Hurry up.
He does. He
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
100% he does.
Like,
So give me. Yeah. So let me go off here. Let me go
has
off
he
here.
been doing this the entire day?
I
Like,
debate
Yes.
every single day. I post all of my debates on YouTube. I literally have like 5 incest debates posted on YouTube, bro. It's everybody's favorite topic apparently. Okay, so anyways,
everyone's favorite topic, or is
it's a joke. All right. So anyways, you asked two questions here. Why would I do it? Number one, and then number two, you said that it's wrong because you're fucking your sister. So there's two problems with you,
I
right?
didn't even specify.
Well, I asked you why you think it's wrong. You said because that's my blood. Essentially, you're saying it's wrong because you're fucking your sister.
Yo, why y'all jumping? Get out.
Right. So the issue, right? So the issue why this doesn't work is because number one, why would I do it? Well, the reason why someone would do it is literally because they want to. You don't have an argument against this, right? Number one. Number two is that you're saying it's wrong because you're fucking your sister. This is what's called a logical fallacy. A logical fallacy is where your premises don't necessarily reach a conclusion due to a specific gap in reasoning or a gap in logic or gap in rationale, right? And what you're doing here is called the appeal. It's a circular reasoning fallacy where your premise assumes the conclusion, right? You're assuming the very thing I'm calling into question, and you can't do that. Your premise assumes the conclusion, right? So it'll be like this. Hey, why do you think incest is wrong? Well, because you're fucking your sister. Yeah, why is that wrong? Because you're fucking your sister. Yeah, why is that wrong? It's a circle. It's circular reasoning.
Okay, so
you have to actually articulate.
Give a better answer.
I would like you to articulate an actual reason besides the premise. Yeah.
Okay, so you just said that it was that
if a brother wanted to fuck his sister, what's the issue?
Opinion. Right.
Yeah, what's the issue?
Based off of pure opinion. And
what do you mean opinion?
This is an opinion because you're asking somebody why would you think that fucking your sister?
Well, no, okay, hypothetically, if a guy wanted to fuck his sister, what's the issue?
Well, I mean, that's all personal opinion, like you said.
How's it opinion?
I'm just asking you, like, what's your
exactly what he's? No, that's what I'm saying. But
so if they went up to you, it's like, hey, we want to fuck. Why would you?
Hey,
we want to fuck. Why should we not? Yeah, why should we not
because
go?
I personally don't want to do that shit because I feel like it's weird.
Yeah, but what's the argument against it? Why should somebody else not do it?
I don't have to argue why personally.
Okay, why should somebody?
I can see.
Okay, personally,
I get that. Yeah, personally, you wouldn't do it.
If you're talking about objectively, like why it's objectively wrong, then obviously I can't give you a straight up answer. You're gonna have all these people trapped because of it, because you can't. You can't ask somebody an opinionated question and then be like, "Hey, why is it?"
Well, I can't. Well, hold on. Even if it was,
it falls under a compass like regarding anybody.
Well, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Velocity. Even if it was just your opinion, just give your opinion. Why do you think incest is wrong? If a brother and sister came up to you, it was like, "Hey, we want to fuck. Why should we not do that?"
Because I don't want to.
Okay, not you, a brother and a sister. Why would you? What are reasons that you would give them that would get them to not do that? Why would you not want to do that? Like, not you, but like, tell them, like, hey, we want to fuck each other. We're brother and sister. Like, Velocity. Why should we not fuck each other when we want to?
Just because you want to do it doesn't mean they want to do it. Just because it's
they are
easy
saying
doesn't mean.
No.
Okay.
Oh man.
Listen.
I'm giving you
Velocity,
answers.
Listen.
No, you're not understanding the hypothetical.
You're not answering the question like that.
At all.
How about this? Just to give me a better perspective on what the hell you want me to answer.
Okay. Velocity.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll do it. He's saying, like, if like a brother and sister came up to you, like a random like brother and sister you did not know, if they came up to you and said, hey, we want to have sex with each other, what's the problem?
You bastard! Okay.
Nigga, didn't I? Okay, yeah, continue. Go ahead.
Nah, I didn't understand that shit.
Okay, yeah, what's the issue?
I mean, like, shit.
You know, run it up with that hammer.
I mean,
no turret.
So, like, what? That, I mean, I don't really.
Get rid of your turret.
Okay, that's the exactly.
I have another question.
Exactly. This is what I'm talking about, Haru. Nobody has good arguments against it. That's why we debate it. It's fun.
Because it's not debatable. I can't sit here and debate with you.
It is.
Well, here's the thing. I as a hyper debate bro, I as a hyper debate bro who gets paid to debate like some of the most high level debaters online, I have arguments against it, but the majority of people, y'all niggas in the chat, don't.
Alright, relax, nigga.
What do you think?
Well, I don't want to give you the answers quite yet, because people are still debating.
I've already...
Wait, hold on. Let Strawberry talk. What was she saying, Strawberry? Sorry.
Okay, what about the views of the couple? Like how they would be seen by people outside of their relationship and how
Yeah,
that
I mean,
affects
like-
them making relationships.
Yeah, I mean, like, what if you have the case? I mean, like, how do you think like how do you think like
Wouldn't
how do you
that
think?
negatively impact them? Wouldn't
Well,
that cause,
hold on.
Because
Well, hold on, Strawberry. How do you think like certain people feel when they see a white girl and a black guy together,
Whoa, why we
or like a
tripling?
Christian, or like a
Okay.
Christian with a Muslim?
no, no,
right?
nigga, you know those don't have the same social standing.
Wait, why not?
You know they don't.
Why not?
They don't.
No,
You know
wait,
they
Strawberry,
don't.
Strawberry. The point is that social disapproval doesn't equate to the relationship automatically being bad. Just because the people around
No,
you
it
disapprove
does
of it.
because it causes problems in how they
Okay,
can
so you would have
life.
absolutely no problem with somebody having an issue with a white woman dating a black woman then. Got it.
No, I wouldn't.
You would have no issue. Wait, you would have no issue with somebody saying that, hey, two girls should not be together. A white girl and a black guy should not be together.
It's just the
A Muslim
amount of
should.
people that would be against it. That's
It doesn't
the thing
matter.
that's different.
It doesn't matter.
That's literally the only.
It literally doesn't matter. The point
only
is,
difference
wait,
is the amount of people that would be
Okay,
against it,
Strawberry.
and how that it can negatively impact it.
But that literally
Then
doesn't
as
matter.
people could be negatively
Strawberry,
impacted
Strawberry.
as
That
well.
literally. What the point is that
Why
this
does it
is.
not matter?
I'll
It's
tell
about
you.
the
I'll tell you.
relationship.
I'll tell you. The reason why is because this is literally another logical fallacy, right? You're
It's conjecture. You're assuming they're like not mentally strong enough to like.
well,
take
it's not
that,
even
like,
it's not even
criticism.
that. It's the appeal to majority fallacy, right? Simply because a bunch of people are disapproving or approving as a thing doesn't necessarily make that thing true, right? So like for example,
Literally.
it was
So
the
we're
case.
saying
Wait, it was a generally approved that black people are lesser in society and ought to be taken as slaves. This is a societal like understanding. Obviously, these people were wrong. It was the general case. It was the majority of the case that the world was flat. Obviously, they were wrong. It was generally the case that women's rights and autonomy in society ought to be
Jacob
limited.
Blair's a dick eater. Oh my God.
Ought to be limited to the point where women couldn't vote, women couldn't like take certain positions in the occupation field, they couldn't go to certain schools, they belong in the kitchen, etc., etc. Just because a society has dictated that X thing is bad or good doesn't necessarily actually make that thing good or bad. You're just appealing to the majority here. That doesn't mean anything.
That's why no one needs to have.
The
Well,
majority
essentially,
said yeah, the majority
Just so I have an
majority
understanding. Just
Yeah.
so I have an understanding. This incestual relationship is
Wait,
staged
look
in
at
a
his sim,
perfect
guys. Look at his sim.
situation where there's
Nah, don't look at my sim.
no, there's nothing against them from society.
sure,
there's
like-
nothing. There's
Sure,
no
Strawberry.
risk for genetics because they're not gonna have
This
kids.
is him. This
Yeah.
is him.
And in terms
Yeah, Strawberry.
of-
Strawberry.
Yeah,
What was it was the
slow-
case?
yeah,
What if
slow
it was the
sense,
case?
slow sense.
Like for example, I'll tell you
listen
the
to the
issue.
account. I don't
Hold
know
on,
what sense
hold on. Wait, quiet. I'll tell you the issue with the appeal to majority fallacy and how I know you don't actually believe in this argument. What if it was the case right now? Our society today, right now, decided that rape was perfectly fine to do. Would you agree with them? Obviously
I would
not.
kill myself
Right?
so
Obviously
fast.
not. Right? So just because a society dictates X thing is moral or immoral doesn't actually mean anything. It's just a bunch of people believing the same wrong thing, right? It doesn't mean anything. Just because a bunch of people are wrong doesn't make them automatically right. Just because a bunch of people believe it like it's true, right? Doesn't mean anything. Like for example, if I have two societies, right? Let me pose to you this. Suppose this hypothetical, right? I have a society of 100,000 people that said incest was perfectly fine to do, and I have a society of 100,000 people, a society of 100,000 people that said incest is wrong. Which society is right and which society is wrong? They're both operating off of social standards. One society says it's okay. One society says it's against it. Which society is right or wrong, right?
Okay, with us.
So appealing to social standards doesn't work here.
Alright,
Oh, you're not.
So what's your argument against
yeah,
like
we can't.
prospering or like producing more
Can we
females?
talk about
It's
aliens? if they exist or not,
so it's
bro?
pre-sub.
What the fuck
It's
happens
more.
to the anime shit?
Hold on,
Like,
wait,
yo,
wait,
like-
hold on, wait. Stop talking. It's more pre-sub, right? So number one, you're presupposing that having do you think there's something wrong with having like retarded children? Like what's wrong with special needs kids?
Yeah.
Do you think special needs? Wait, stop. Hold on. Let her answer. Do you think special needs kids shouldn't be born? Like they shouldn't have the right to
How did you
life?
get here?
It depends on what the disorder is. I actually do believe.
Really? Okay, wait, hold on. Now hold on, Strawberry. You're going. Oh God, this argument's so bad. Yeah, you're literally arguing for eugenics now. This is the exact same. It's the exact same belief that the Nazis used against the Jews and the white people used against black people or whatever, right? That you're literally against these people even being born. You would have called them from society because you don't like them, literally. Like, this is the exact same argument that they used against the black people and Jewish people, right? You're literally arguing for eugenics now.
You know I'm saying they're running with it. I'm saying I wouldn't want a child to be born that doesn't have
You
a brain.
wouldn't, but what if another family would?
That doesn't, or their spine
doesn't
What
have
if-
a brain.
What if another family?
That exists and I've seen it.
Hold on,
But
Strawberry.
anyway.
What if another family would be super loving and appreciative of a child with Down syndrome? You're against
This
this?
isn't about
not
the
what
kid
she
with
said,
Down
though.
syndrome. This
Right.
is about children that are born with disorders that actually completely affect their life.
I
and
understand
not
that,
live a
but
full
what
life.
if the parent? Yes.
It can do that, but that doesn't mean that they can't live. They're children
Exactly.
that have-
Strawberry.
don't have a brain.
That's the point.
They're children that don't have a
You're-
brain.
not what
They don't
she
have a
said.
brain.
Strawberry. Hold
They
on.
don't
First
have
of
a
all,
brain.
okay.
Their
First of all,
spinal cord
stop. First of all, you don't know shit about incest, right? Number one. First of all, it takes 2 to 3. You look this up too. It takes like 2 to 3 generations of incest for the retardation to actually start happening. Number one. Number two is that once again, we're not talking
2
about
to 3
like.
generations, so we need to just let them keep fucking and we'll see what happens.
Well, hold on. You're saying
Or we
no.
be preventative when we don't
Strawberry.
need that.
You're saying no as if there's something wrong with having a special needs kid. And also, these kids aren't born without brains. That's not what special needs is, dog.
No, I'm talking about disorders. There are disorders.
What's
that
wrong
can
with having
happen when
kids
you
with
do
disorders? What's wrong with
things. It
that?
depends on the disorder. That's the point. You
So
are
certain
subjecting
people
a
with
child to
disorders shouldn't be
unnecessary life.
born?
There's certain things that are just unethical.
Right, so certain
forcing
people with
forcing a
disorders shouldn't be
child into
born.
A life that they're going to be living in pain is not ethical.
Okay,
Period.
okay.
I'm not arguing that. with
Okay,
you on
cool.
that.
The problem is you don't understand shit about ethics. So even if I questioned you about that ethical belief, you wouldn't even be able to grind it. Number one. Number two, I could just substitute this entire thing by just saying that they're not gonna have kids. Now what's the issue?
Wait, let me go.
But my whole argument is about producing and
Okay, what if they don't want to produce? What if they don't want to have kids?
Why are we saying that they wouldn't want to though?
Because
What if they
hold
do?
on. Do you realize that the increase of as of 20
whole
strawberry. There are, as of 2025, I'm not sure if you've seen the stats on this, but the stats range 50 to a whopping 70% of just regular women don't want to have kids, right? You do
Yes,
realize
yes,
that.
I know
Wait,
this.
so stop. Wait,
I
so
know
you do realize that people can engage in relationships and just not have kids. Nobody
So are you
has to
telling
have
me now
kids.
this hypothetical relationship is now based in the present?
Well,
We're just
it's
gonna
always
now we're
based
gonna
in the
base it in
present.
the present. We're gonna do this.
It's
now we're gonna
always
do
based in
that.
the present.
I feel like you keep adapting this to fit your thing.
Because
and not-
none of the arguments work here. And also, it's never been outside of the present. It's always been an incestual relationship today, right? But the point is that I just want to reiterate, I could just sidestep this entire argument by just saying they're not gonna have kids. So what's the issue?
That's my whole argument is that you can't reproduce. You really can't reproduce, and if you do, it brings in.
But they don't want to have
negative
kids. So what's the issue? So you
That's
have
the
no.
negative thing.
Oh wait. So as long as they don't have kids, then you have no problem with incest.
As long as they don't have kids, I guess.
Oh, okay. Well, oh, okay. Sure. I'll take that. GG's. No other problem besides having kids. Well, GG's.
Well, because your whole thing said they're not going to be judged by society because we're just a perfect bubble for them.
No.
They're not gonna be judged
That's
by
not what the point
they're
is.
Not gonna have. They're not gonna have children, so they can't. That
Okay.
argument's done.
Strawberry.
And then, of
Wait.
course, they wanna do it, so the argument is they're messing with them mentally is
Strawberry. I can address all of these super easily. Number one, just because we already established this is an appeal to majority fallacy. Just because
Why are you saying that
society,
to me, dude?
right? So I don't know why you're still proposing it as an argument.
No, I'm not. I'm literally listing all the things
Oh, okay.
you rejected that could be potential negatives.
Right. Well,
And you've
again,
already
because they
rejected them. So I'm like, I can't
because they don't
figure
work.
out what
It's
is
not
the
that
negative.
it's not that I'm rejecting them like just because they just don't work. Like I said, if a society.
I didn't say you're rejecting them just because. I just said you
Okay.
rejected them. I didn't add any
Okay.
extra.
Well, I
You
just want to
rejected them.
reiterate from the crowd because I'm gonna be posting this, right? The society thing doesn't work because if you had a society that just said, "Hey," and this actually happened, by the way, they said, "Hey, white women dating black women," that shit is terrible, so bad that if we see it, we are going to hang them niggas for doing that, right? That's what society said. However, you would still disagree with society. So you would disagree with society here. So what that tells me is that you don't give a fuck what society says, because at the end of the day, society can be wrong. So appeal to societies don't work, right? They can just be wrong. Just because a society agrees upon a thing doesn't make that thing true, okay? All right, so number one. Number two, the kids thing doesn't work because in some weird way you'd be arguing for eugenics, number one, which is really bad, number one. And then number two is that, again, they won't have kids. No issue there. So and then that doesn't work. And then number three, you said that, what was you said the third thing. I can't remember the third thing. Something about they wanting to.
Disruption to the family.
Yeah, well, I already explained it. Anything can destroy a family.
Whatever.
Yeah. Well, the mental thing.
Family.
Yeah, the mental thing. This is a new point. The mental thing doesn't work is because it's not unique to incest. Literally any relationship can result in trauma. Not even like an intimate relationship. My friendship with Haru could result in like future trauma between us. Should we not be friends?
No, but of course it depends on where this trauma stems from, but so on and so forth. You already argued that point.
All right,
now,
so
give
just
me
because
now give me what is bad, like what makes incest bad.
You want me to give you arguments?
Yes.
Are you conceding then?
What do you mean? I just told you. We already agreed.
Oh, well,
a second
GG's.
ago, so come on.
Okay.